Remnants, a record of the broken world, a solo journal game written and created by Matt Beam. They came from the distant stars, falling into our world in their thousands. Some hailed them as gods, come to punish us for the sins of humanity. Others said they sought only to conquer, enslave us, and claim the world for their own. Soon enough, however, the truth became clear. They had no interest in this world or its tiny inhabitants. Our home was just another planet. They were huge and mighty and full of wrath. Unknown gods fighting an unknown war. They fought and died for 5 years till our home was but a shattered wasteland, and then at last they moved on. In their wake they left a landscape littered with the bodies of the fallen and their instruments of war. And the few remnants of humanity that survived hoped desperately that they would not return. The God War, as it has come to be known, took its toll, and our poor planet, already sorely taxed by humanity's own efforts, has been plunged into a new ice age, some call the Winter of the Gods. The bodies of the fallen god giants have brought further threats. Parasitic creatures who begin feeding on the giant corpses now also roam this desolate, icy, broken world. This is not Earth.
I think that's on. Good. I'm quite lucky to find this. You don't find much around anymore. I should say I'm recording my adventures, my travels, I suppose, for posterity, I guess. Not much else reason why. I suppose it's something to do. My name is Professor Albert Pike. I'm 59, and I'm, well, I suppose, what's left of academia in this harsh world. I'm trying to head east and try and see if what I can find over there. I started my journey on what I think was the Welsh borders. It's very hard to tell where you are anymore. The landscape was just blankets of thick ice and snow. But where I've been staying with a small group of, well, a small ragtag bunch, as it were. But I suddenly had a craving to see what I could find and bring back. In the old world, I was a professor of physics, actually, and well, I'd always said I wanted to head, always wanted to retire in Berlin. I thought it'd be quite nice to be working there, but so my plan is to head east, see how far I can get, and see if I can make it to Berlin. I mean, the people that have been saying for a while, there's rumours of power over there, and even so much civilization, even. So, if I make it, I make it. But along the way, I'll be documenting what I find, and see if I find any books or academia or anything, which would be quite nice. Albert out, I suppose. How to stop this thing? There we go. Day one. Managed to get a fire going, thankfully. The people I left were very nice, and they allowed me to take flint steel with me, which was very kind of them, actually. Between that and the jacket they gave me, I'm doing quite well. I sadly wasn't able to find much in the way of shelter. I'm sort of half huddled behind the remains of an old tree. It is bitterly cold today. The fire I'm incredibly grateful for as the heavy snow starts to fall. It's been an uneventful day, I suppose. The day was fine. I stumbled across not a lot as it goes. The landscape is fairly white and icy, and if nothing else, it tires the eyes. I did happen to find a small knife, like a butter knife or some such, but it was very rusty. I'll keep it in my purse, and I know these things are always useful in some regard or other. But I'm trying to remain a little bit incognito if possible. I know what it'd be like just to see an old man on his own. Oh, I think I'll settle down for the night. Just a quick extra add-on. As I was settling down and turning off my recorder, a fellow stranger approached, and well, after exchanging simple looks and desperately trying to make myself look far more fierce than I actually am, he offered a tin of food, and he's currently sat. Well, I think he's asleep now next to me. He's a young man, very young. Can't be much more than 17. I doubt he remembers anything, if not anything at all, of the world before. He is so prepared. He's got a backpack made of something or other, just stuffed full of tools and blankets. And I look at my own meager equipment and realize that I think I may have slightly underestimated the journey. We only briefly spoke. He didn't seem the social type opposed from offering me the food, which I think was tuna. I don't know where he found it. He's heading off in the other direction. He's going to see if he can do some scavenging. There's apparently a local group of scavengers that work around here. Perfectly harmless, but he told me to take care. So I shall. Good night. Still unsure how to end these things. Day 2. Sorry. It's been a heavy day. The snow of yesterday has been replaced by quite heavy, icy rain. My coat is soaking. Luckily, I do manage to have fire and shelter tonight. I've stumbled across a giant nail meat, which I can only imagine. The horrors. They were so big. We were so tiny in comparison. They cared not even for us a jot. They treated us like ants whilst two people were having a fight in a pub car park. Anyway, what they did leave behind in their corpses and their armour is incredibly useful. It's a good 2 foot thick in some places. I'm incredibly warm. I put my jacket and my clothes up and they're drying. Not much progress today, which is a shame. What I did find, however, just outside the entrance, is I found a small metal torch which still had some life in the batteries. It almost sounds comical now, given everything, how the world used to be, but having light after dark and being able to transport it and turn it on and off at will is something I absolutely took for granted. I will look after this with great care. This is a beautiful reminder of what the world used to be. I keep looking at this torch and I seem to remember I used to have one so much like it, an old black heavy metal thing I was given when I was a boy. I used to use it to read under the covers, roll dial books and the old encyclopedia. Until, of course, Mother found it and obfuscated me for staying up past my bedtime. I could see that. I still remember there was an enormous sense of pride in her eyes when she used to pull back the covers and see me not playing a game but reading. She must have died 20 years ago or so now. It's so difficult to keep track of the time as opposed to the days. They all blend into one. I hope tomorrow is dry. I hope I get to see birds. It's been so long since I saw birds. Apology, it's been about 4 days since I last spoke to you. I've been quite busy. I stumbled across a small settlement, about maybe 3 or 4 huts or so. About a dozen people here. It's quite nice. I've been helping to mend things as payment for my staying for a while. I I do believe I'm quite close to what was the sea. The air's got cold and there's a smell of salt. But it is nice to finally meet people who aren't a possible threat. It has even the weather's even slightly changed as my situation has. It's been quite well, almost clear skies. It's mild nights, but biting cold during the day. But it's been nice to be dry. Yes, there's quite an interesting fellow here. He's not. He's sort of similar age to me. I dare not ask. It doesn't seem polite. But he's only talking to his dog. It's so lovely to see normality. He's not, as said, the leader of this group of people, but he's respected, and people do seem to pay attention to what he talks about. He has the air of somebody who never took life too seriously and is just making do with a bad situation. His dog is called Wonky. It's only got 3 legs, the poor thing, but it looks so old. Still full of beans, though. I have missed playing fetch with a pet. Most pets were sadly killed during the Ice Age after the God War, but it's really nice to see somebody who's taken such love and care of, well, their family. There's a warmth here. It's very peaceful. Tomorrow I shall head off again. I would love to stay, but it just doesn't feel right somehow. These aren't my people, and I think this group are settling down for the long haul. I am done settling down. I should also say I saw the most beautiful shifting murmuration the other day. Thousands of birds were just drifting across the sky, this whirling, swirling maelstrom of life. It was... Briefly, I forgot everything else in the world. This organic dance, this beautiful flurry of life. I cried. I cried beautiful tears, and I've not cried ugly. I cried happy, happy tears. It's lovely to see that the world can carry on. No matter. I need to continue my journey. I have things to do. I need to just keep heading east. For if nothing else, I used to love it. Tomorrow will be good. If I can find a stick or something to aid the walking, that'll be lovely. I'm getting quite tired. Albert out, I suppose. How long will the batteries last on this recorder? The snow decides to come back again. Which is all well and good. I've found shelter again. Unfortunately, I think my flint and steel have got damp during the day with the snowfall. I'm currently inside. I think it's some sort of natural cave. I'm quite cold, though, but I'm wrapped up warm, and all is well. I must have walked about 20 miles or so today. Felt longer. On the journey, though, I did walk past some huge god-giant weapon. For the longest time, I thought I was walking on some organic rock formation, but as I reached the end and I turned around, I saw it was in fact a massive, like 60-foot long sword. I can't comprehend the weight of it and the power needed to swing it around like you're a medieval warrior. Whenever I think back to the God War, I just remember hiding so much and being so fearful, and yet so in awe. They were beautiful, impressive, devastating creatures. In another world, I suppose we could have learned so much from them instead. Here we are on the edge of the world itself. Everything about it was gargantuan and impressive. And more than that, the detail at even our scale. Hand-carved filigrees and decoration all down the blade. It looked almost organic. Not just in its form, but its function and its creation. It reminded me a lot of my old penknife. A Damascus steel penknife. It was a gift to me by my wife on the day I made tenure at Oxford. It's beautiful Damascus steel, just flurried with these beautiful blemishes, and she also got a little metal keyring of a space shuttle that she gave to me and said, "Hopefully one day you'll be out there. Use your physics degree to try and push humanity forwards." She was an incredibly kind woman. I miss her greatly. I don't allow myself very often time to think about Mabel, because I have a tendency just to want to curl up into the snow and join her. But when I do think about her, when I let her pop in back behind my eyes, it's those moments that I love the most. The small ones, not the grand holidays abroad or the romantic trips or the walk along the walk along Hadrian's Wall we've done together. It's the little silly ones, like the small trinket she gave me, or how she would never eat buttered toast, or how she refused to ever travel to Surrey. I think I'm glad that she did perish. I'd hate to see her suffer. I'm hoping for clear skies tomorrow, and then I can continue on my journey. I must be getting close to what was the shore now. And who knows? Who knows indeed, maybe I can... Oh, I don't care. Fire is roaring. I'm indoors. Well, I say I'm indoors. There's the empty armor of a god, and I can even one of the gods that I can even see in the firelight. Its massive cavernous rib cage, just sat in here alone. But I'm warm, and I'm out of the snow. Asking for good weather possibly was tempting fate too much, and I've been hampered by heavy snow all day. What I didn't expect was quite how well animals have sort of taken to this new world. Previously, if on a hike I'd been stalked a while by a bird of prey, I take it as a sign of luck. But these days, I take it as a sign that I might be getting old faster than I think I am. Good half an hour or so it glid above me, occasionally circling and taking a look. Not worrying so much, more a coarse reminder of our new position in the pecking order. What has been nice is as I've wandered in here, I've been met by a small tabby. He's followed me and not soon after, and has curled up on the other side of the fire. I can see its eyes glinting in the firelight, and it's definitely staring at me, and it's keeping me very much in its attention. But no, it's being very sensible and staying away. But it has come in to enjoy the fire with me. This is almost normal. He looks full, and it doesn't. I can't see any exposed ribs, and he seems happy enough. I might put a bit of food down for him. I've got some spare left from the day, so I think it's only fair. We can all muck in together, as it were. I'm hoping tomorrow to reach the coast. I shouldn't be too far off it now. It's been a good week. A week or so of walking. I should be... A week? More than that. Possibly two. All the days become jumbled. But I hope to see the coast. And whether well, who knows. But for now, I think I'm going to quietly enjoy the fire and see if I can make friends with this cat. Albert Pike out. More heavy snowfall, which has hampered the day. But luckily I do have a lovely warm fire, and I've managed to find an old, seemingly abandoned hut. But above all, I am dry, I am warm, and I've made it to the coast. I can tell the snow underfoot becomes more icy, and I can see just ahead of me there is no more hills and rises poking out through the ice. It's just ice and snow flat for as far as I can see. I think I'm happy with that. On the walk today, I found a family. 2 adults and a child, who told me as I'd met them, we exchanged pleasantries, and they asked me where I was going, and I told them, and they had a look of almost pity. I asked the same to them, and then they said they were going home. They tried to walk down south, down to where London used to be, and they told me that it's naught but ice and rubble. I didn't even think about it, but of course during the God War, every major city and town, village even, was decimated. They were looking for friends, looking for family, but they said that it's empty. A city of 10 million people at its height, and it's just gone. I gave them some of my rations. I said they needed it more than I did, but they were reluctant to take it. But I insisted, and eventually they relented, and I saw them off. I waved as they went, and they disappeared into the snow and the fog, and that was that. It was nice to talk to someone, just once. It reminded me a lot of when I first was heading towards the camp on the Welsh border. I was lost. Everything had gone. The group I was with had splintered and fallen apart, and was aimlessly wandering. And I came across a solo hiker who gave me some food when I needed it most, and pointed me in the right direction. Tarrant, I think his name was. Good man. Lovely head of hair on him. Odd that I remember that. Very nice man. He said he'd come from London. He left just as everything was going on. He knew what he was doing, and he'd been walking for years, surviving on his own. gave me this small pillbox. A little metal pillbox with a whale on it. He told me that it would be a good thing to store all of your important belongings in. I've kept my wedding ring in mine. And a house key. Just in case I ever go back, which is sentimental old fool. I think tomorrow I'll start the journey across the ice. See where I can go. I'm going to leave this recorder here, just on the off chance that somebody finds it. Maybe you can use it even. Get something good out of all of this. Something positive from everything that's happened. And who knows? Maybe even people will use it. Maybe someone will even listen. If you are listening and you do find this, my name is Albert Pike. I'm heading east over the ice. I've left this recorder for you, and in the metal pillbox is my wedding ring, and there's a small space shuttle token. Please look after it. I don't think I'll be back. Oh, Albert, you fool.
And that was Remnants, a record of the broken world by Matt Beams, a beautiful solo journaling game, and I hope you managed to get to play it. I'm going to drop a link to the itch.io where you can buy it in the description. It's a very simple game when you get lots of fun prompts and you have to go through it by randomly picking a card out of the deck and creating the corresponding prompt. Really good at building a world slowly, and also, in my case, making one that makes you genuinely cry. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and you shall hear from me next week. In the meantime, I hope you have a good time and don't commit many crimes.